Welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. This is the FH5 Update 31. In today's video, we're gonna jump into the brand new update. Check out the new DLC pack. We're gonna also jump in and check out the entire list of patch notes. I think we need to start off with one thing more than any other. This is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing. The developers have added dinosaurs to Forza Horizon 5. Don't get demonetized. This is not demonetization worthy. This is simply historically accurate. That is incredible. There are also a bunch of brand new cars that have been added into the game. There is the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro. The Aston Martin Valkyrie comes out on Thursday. I'm gonna be unlocking it then. I'm so excited to see if it's actually the fastest car in this game. This is the Mercedes 500e, which is apparently a very interesting car for many reasons. Since I'm French, we also have this. Before we get too far into the new cars, though, we do need to thank the sponsor of today's video, Babbel. As many of you guys keep telling me, I'm French. And if I ever want to go to France, well, I need to speak French. And Babbel is the best way to learn. Babbel is the ultimate language learning platform out there. And it's scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks. That way, you can go from skill issue to a problème de compétence very quickly. All of the lessons are designed by real language teachers. So if you've ever wanted to travel to a new country and learn the language and speak to the locals, Babbel is the solution for you. And what's really cool is Babbel offers you a bunch of different ways to learn a language, from regular sorts of lessons and videos to articles to podcasts and even mini games. If you click the link in my description right now, you can save up to 60% off. So don't have a skill issue or a problème de compétence and start learning with Babbel right now. Thanks to Babbel for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the new cars. Sorry, Le Vehicle Nouveau. Nailed it. All right, let's go. You clicked on this video because you like watching me spend money on things. So this is the European Automotive Car Pack. Let me go buy it. I got the car pack. I think we need to start today's video with the Battista. In this thing, we have 1,900 horsepower, 1,700 foot-pounds of torque. We're gonna jump into the customization, but before that, I want to give it a go on the quarter mile and see how insane this thing is. Do you think it has that glitch that the other cars had last week? This is the fastest drag car in Forza Motorsport. I have no idea what to expect in this game. Will it be faster than a Rimac? Will it be faster than a Lamborghini Diablo? Bone stock, that was what? Mid-8? I like how we're saying that's not bad. An 8.5 second quarter mile time is outrageous. As per usual, this wouldn't be an AR12 video without any fun facts about the Pininfarina Battista. If you're anything like me and you've never heard of this car before, let me explain it to you, because although, yes, you've probably never heard of these guys before, I guarantee you've seen their work before. Pininfarina has actually been a car company since, like, the 1950s. I think actually even earlier than that. Pininfarina isn't a conventional car company because they are actually more of a coach builder back in the 1950s and as a designer in recent time. Basically, car companies would call up Pininfarina and say, hey, could you design insert type of car here? And Pininfarina would do that for them. They have worked on some of the world's most legendary cars. Let me show you what I mean real quick. The Alfa Romeo 6C, the Ferrari 375, the Fiat 124, the Lancia 037. They also made some of the best looking cars ever made. The Ferrari 365, the Fiat Coupe, the Alfa Romeo Brera, and the Mitsubishi... Huh? We won't talk about that last one. It wasn't one of Pininfarina's most proud moments in its history. The guy who actually made Pininfarina, his name is Battista Farina, and his nickname was Pinin. As it turns out, Pinin is like, I guess, slang in like some Italian dialect for youngest and smallest. And that's because Mr. Pininfarina was 5 foot tall. Weight reduction from the factory. He made this company a true short king. An absolute legend.
And you are not much taller.
Hey, no, we moving on. Let's check out the customization that we can do to this thing. So we might need to make this thing rear wheel drive for a drift build. We'll come back to that though. For now, I just want to make this thing the fastest drag car we can. We can go front splitter. I think we'll come back to that for our aero or for like our race car build. How did it get an 8.5 on like road tires? I'm going to toss the drag tires on. This thing is going to launch incredibly hard. And we've got engine spacers. And then last but not least, upgrade the suspension, give it some anti-roll bars, nearly 1,000 pounds of weight reduction. This is going to be the fastest drag car. Are we going to go sub 7.5 seconds with our new weight reduction? The first thing we'll focus on is our gears to see what speed we're crossing the line at. We can shorten those a whole bunch. 184, a 7.8. It doesn't actually launch that hard. I'm going to need to cross the line at around like 190 miles an hour. So there we go. That's a better launch though. That certainly feels a little better. Straight to the line. Come on. Come on. We can even go shorter gears. We go 1 mile an hour faster. 780. We could probably pump up the tires. We're not spinning wheels at all. Somebody says, what do you think the top speed will be fully kitted out? That's a really good question. It all comes down to what like the coefficient of drag of this car is in the game. That felt like a good launch. But we go 7.7. Let's go. As good as it is and is as impressive as it is, it doesn't launch hard enough off the line. Like, there's almost like a little hesitation built into it a little bit. We go 7.74. The Diablo is gonna monster this thing every day. The thing with the Diablo weighs like 1,400 pounds lighter than this. I don't want you to think I'm saying this car is slow. It is not slow. A 7.7 quarter mile is ridiculous. That's like one of the world's fastest cars. But when you're comparing it to a car that goes nearly a full second faster, hate to break it to you, a 7.7 is slow. 285, still 285. Oh, dead. The cool thing about this car is that you can do it backwards. 200 miles an hour backwards, baby. And if you're a better driver than me, you can for sure do way better than me at this. I want to quickly turn this thing into a proper race car. So that means full slick tires. We've already got full, like, width. We've already got everything. All I need is just some aero so we can do the corners quicker, and we're good to go. We have a load of advanced paint groups for this thing. So paint group number 1, the majority of the car. Paint group number 2, I assume. Yep, the front little bit of that car. And then paint group number 3. Oh, it's the little fins at the back. Is the Battista a good race car? Away we go. So, since it's all electric, I don't have any gears to worry about. All I need to do is just send it, brake at the right time, and try my best to not have a skill issue. Which, let's be honest, for me is quite difficult. Gun it. It's got some understeer. Oh! That was close. Goodbye, Hennessy. Hello from the future. DJ says use R for race mode. I've done that in a drag race. Didn't go that well, if I'm honest. This thing pulls super hard. There's just really not much in the way of handling. It's just a little bit heavy, and it doesn't have like the natural kind of aero built into the body of like a Senna or things like that, for example. Those sorts of cars can go way quicker around corners just because they were built for that. I don't know what this thing was actually built for. I've got to assume, right, in real life, this was probably built to be like a cruise car, like a GT car. I think it's just a really fast Grand Tourer. I guess we'll go rear wheel drive though, just to change things up, make it a bit spicy. I guess we'll go drift tires again, just kind of make it more legit. Give it some wheel spacers. What? And then last but not least, give it some drift suspension and all of the things. Will you ever get an electric car IRL? I hate to break it to you, but if you're younger than 30 years old, you will 100% own an electric car in the future. Redlining an electric car is so weird. All right, anyways, let's see if we can get my new personal best. 185K is the score to beat. I will say, this car straight up doesn't want to get that much angle, probably because I made it rear wheel drive, so it does what it does. I can still send it decently hard through the corners, like hold it, hold it, hold it. Not gonna hold it. Gotta give it a little snap back. Oh, I buttled. 160K. Pininfarina. Is it a thumbs up, thumbs down, or somewhere in the middle? This car is without a doubt a thumbs up. It has cool history. It's super fast. However, it doesn't have the best modifications ever. And it's also in a paid DLC pack when you can drive it for free in Forza Motorsport. I think it's mid. It's a very cool car, but it didn't take down the Lamborghini Diablo. And I'm a little salty. This is the Mercedes AMG Hammer Wagon. It's got 400 horsepower, 420 foot-pounds of torque. Yes, we round up around here. And it's got an incredibly cool story that I bet you didn't know. Something, AR12 video, fun fact, AMG Hammer Wagon. Let me explain how this all works. You've got to remember, this car is from 1987. Back in that time, Mercedes and AMG weren't the same company the way they are today. Sort of, kind of. I'm oversimplified, but you understand. Back in the day, you sort of have to treat AMG kind of like a Hennessy. To build an AMG Hammer, you had to take to them a Mercedes 300E, and then they would sell you all of the parts to turn it into an AMG Hammer. AMG only built, I think, like 30 or 40 AMG Hammers for the entire world, and they were absurdly expensive. And one of the people who bought one of those was a Canadian fellow named Paul. Paul was a rich guy from Toronto, and he was a big fan of this new AMG company. So one day, he called up AMG and said, hey, I would love it if you would build my wife the ultimate car for her. And AMG went, yeah, not a problem. He bought a Mercedes 300 diesel. It got delivered to Canada. He then shipped it to AMG North America, where they fitted it with this massive V8 engine putting out 400 horsepower. Since it was a one of one and it was never designed to be like this, the guy from AMG who built it took it to Road Atlanta to do some, it was Road Atlanta or Road America, one of the two, to do some testing with it to make sure the entire car worked. And he noticed, the guy from AMG noticed while he was driving it, there was a weird rattling noise. And he figured out because the exhaust was hitting the firewall because the engine was so big. What did the man from AMG do? He told the AMG technicians to take the engine out. The man from AMG then hit the firewall with a hammer to bend the metal so the exhaust would fit. And that car is this car. There is only one of these things built for the entire world. I love super estate cars. This is the ultimate super estate car, and it is a fantastic vehicle in every single way. In theory, because the developers scanned this thing, you'd be able to open up the engine bay and see where man hit it with a hammer. You can kind of see where it would be, where those dents would be. Oh, okay, well, that, you're really not making it helpful, game. But anyway, down beneath there, I promise you there are some dents. We need to do some customization to this thing. So let's see what we've got. Engine swaps. We've got a whole bunch of these. We've got a 5.2 V10 Audi R8 engine. We've got a 7.2 liter V8. Nice. That's a CLK GTR engine. I never knew it was a 6.9 liter. And we've got a 6 liter V12 racing engine. Nice. I think we go big boy V8. I'm gonna make the ultimate sleeper car. That actually doesn't look too bad. I kind of like that. That's going to be very useful for our race car build. Never mind, we won't be doing a race car build. You can ruin some cars by putting rear wings on them. And you can get away by saying, it's faster, it's worth it. You do not mess with the AMG Hammer. Let's make the tires a little wider. 285s in the rear. We've already got our 6-speed transmission. Upgrade the drive shaft. Upgrade the differential. 1,300 we've just tossed in 1,000 horsepower to this. And it also weighs like, what, 800 pounds? 600 pounds lighter than it did before. So This is the ultimate sleeper question. We're going up against some of the latest and greatest supercars and hypercars of today. Maybe I use the word supercars lightly. Please ignore the Taycan. Supercars and hypercars. Oh my god, it's got understeer. Like, nowadays, when a company builds a one-of-one car, they buy a Lamborghini and take a chainsaw to the roof and call it an Aventador J, and they ruin a car. Back in the 80s, when you built a one-of-one car, it was for your wife, and it was a station wagon. I love it. What a different time we live in today. I am now experiencing the consequences of my actions. As it turns out, driving a station wagon from the 80s with no modifications to any of the aero does have significant effects on the drivability of said vehicle. The cornering, not so great. I think it will be a great drift car for the simple fact that it's gonna be cool. And it's already good at that. Couldn't get the Taycan. I will let you guys choose our next build with this thing, though. I see a lot of people in chat asking for a rally build. Remember in Forza Horizon 4, the Mercedes, was it an AMG? The EAT. I essentially need to turn this into the same thing. It's not really a sleeper car anymore, is it? Let me explain to you how expensive this car was. Back in the day, if you wanted an AMG Hammer, you needed to rock up to AMG. The base price was $117,000 back in the day. That was without any optional upgrades. As it turns out, the vast majority of people who ordered AMG Hammers spent on average $175,000 on their car. That also doesn't include the car. You also had to go to Mercedes and buy the regular 300E from them, and then go to AMG and give them another 200 grand to turn it into one of these. Actually, well, not this one, the regular AMG Hammer. I assume this one was probably like, I don't know, for a one-of-one, $500,000. Can we all give a massive shout out to the Canadian man named Paul who ordered this for his wife? What an absolute legend. I actually looked up Paul before this stream started. Paul died in 2003. Paul was a cool dude. What an incredible vehicle. I keep saying it because it just is. Back to the festival for the final time. One more build with the Hammer. Everybody in chat saying all-wheel drive. We'll go all-wheel drive. We'll keep the CLK GTR engine in. We will go with our drag racy tires. Just give it that drift suspension and we're good to go. Someone bought this car for $1 million. If I had unlimited money, I would probably do the same. Could you buy better cars with $1 million? 100%. Could you buy a car with a better story than this? Not a goddamn chance. There we go. There we go. We're in. This is it. Keep it on the road. Nice. Nice. Nothing like drifting a black car in the middle of the night. It's a bit difficult to see, but keep it going. Oh my god, it's loud. CLK engine in this is insane. No, we went off. Come on, break 200K though. 200K in the Hammer would be lovely. Yes, sir. 217K. I think this is one of the best cars in Forza Horizon 5. It is exactly what I want from a car in FH5. It is unique. It has a great backstory. It's super rare. It's got great customization, other than the rear wing, and it is super fun to drive.